If you ship for free, you could be losing thousands and thousands of dollars. That is the topic of today's show. Isn't that exciting? This is the first time I've ever done a show topic on free shipping. This might be the last time I ever do that topic because, again, you can lose thousands and thousands of dollars. So as we have new and exciting changes, we are definitely going to want to get together and talk about those things. And we've had some really big, exciting changes happen. And you saw me on YouTube. Well, Sella is 2018. Woo! Get caught up to this decade. Is that a ghost account? But fantastic. A lot of people actually are telling me about the YouTube video because what has happened with Whatnot that is so unbelievable, and I've been making YouTube videos since 2021, is that organically the shipping video that I have up, that has like just boom, been discovered, and it wasn't suggested by YouTube, and it wasn't promoted, and it wasn't anything that Google put out there. So the analytics are just all over the place, and YouTube cannot figure out, like, where are these people finding out about this video and why are they watching it? Because Whatnot has the best shipping rates online. Can I get a tap on that? Thank you. It is a little bit confusing, but you know the good thing about it is once you start to understand how Whatnot works, it is actually simplified and streamlined. So I've come to really enjoy it, and other videos are not clear for you. Oh, Val. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Maybe the algorithm did catch on. You are fantastic. Thank you for saying that. Now, the video that I'm talking about, though, it has the yellow background and then it has the yellow bars on the side. That is the one that people found on their own. The other ones I've done like a ship with me video, one with all the yellow. Okay, terrific. Terrific. So there will be an update. The only problem I have with the update is there's not a lot different for us on Whatnot because our shipping rates have only adjusted maybe 3 to 4% because we use the lowest rate classes, and Whatnot does give you all of your analytics. There's not a huge change because we still have the best rate for that 1 to 5 pounds of USPS priority mail. So you've got a real advantage. As long as it lasts, let's keep the good times rolling and enjoy ourselves. I am going to take questions throughout the show. We will cap this at that 1 hour mark. And I'm also going to preview for you guys next week. I want you to follow. If somebody will tag, I wish I had somebody who, I'm seeing so many new names who could moderate. If anybody wants to moderate, please. But I want you to tag next week's special guest, who is Tristina, is an artist, a professional working commercial artist. She's going to come on and talk to us about the art of shipping because she ships masterpieces around the world. And she's going to tell us how she can do that. She offers free art classes on Whatnot. She's on YouTube. She's working in her business. She's sponsored by a paint company in Paris, I think, at least in France. And she's doing wonderful, but it's all because she knows how to ship her artwork so that it arrives undamaged. Because if you ship artwork or one-of-a-kind, irreplaceable pieces, you need to know what you're doing. So we're going to have Tristina, who's leading the way, expanding the art category, talk to us about how she does her shipping. So that is so amazing. Oh, thank you, Bobby Resin. Yes, so I am doing some YouTube shorts, and Bobby was kind enough to come give us a tour, a studio tour of your setup. And by co-hosting, you're actually able to get 2 people on the screen. So that's going to basically be next week's format. Somebody's going to get a giveaway, and Val, you'll get a giveaway. So good for you. But we're just going to keep it coming because this is a free shipping show. So at this point, we're already running in the red. So let's. It's like once the Titanic takes on water, right? But you are allowed to tip me. Anyway, I'm not complaining because Whatnot is just such an amazing platform. And I am going to give you some pointers on what not to do if you do decide you want to try to do free shipping. Let's go ahead and start the second giveaway. Okay, I never finished a thought. So feel free to remind me if I get off topic. I was telling you about Tristina. She's coming up and she'll tell us how to ship art. And what else? There's just been so many other good things. The YouTube short with Bobby. Bobby came on, co-hosted, and took us on a tour. And then in my phone, I'm able to do some really short YouTube edits, and I can put those videos up pretty quickly. So I try to get one up every day. And you can do the same thing. You guys, if you don't know this, you can go back and rewatch your videos. You can rewatch the ship show, and you can put little clips onto YouTube Shorts. Okay, these are going to be less than 3 minutes. I try to keep it less than 1 minute. The idea is it doesn't have to be like a full edited piece. It can just be like highlight, and that can get you some new customers, some new views, and those will stay up as long as you want them there. So I hope, Bobby, I know you had a show after that. I know you sold some things. I hope that you continue to get more and more new business from that, and it does really show what's available on Whatnot that you're not going to find anywhere else in the world. So that is exciting. I'm going to move you guys up just a tad because I feel like I'm looking down. Oh, no, the glare. How funny is this? Okay. So what else have we got going on in Whatnot Wonderland? Because I saw the Bloomin' Patch come in. And Val, tell us a little bit more about your experience shipping on Whatnot. And I see that, ooh, Jesse Grace joined. I like your title there. That's fantastic. You've got the lines in your name. Does that cause you issues with people trying to find you on the internet or on Whatnot? Or does it just skip to the first few letters? Because that is something I've not seen in the past. A lot of times moderators, that's what they'll do to separate the chats, is they'll put in like a series of lines or characters so we know that we're on to the next bit or the next topic. So that's the first time I've seen somebody do that with their username. That is really terrific. So it's dash dash, how many dashes? Or underscore underscore underscore. But this is the Ship Show. This is your every other weekly source for all of your questions from a seller's perspective. I don't work for Whatnot, so I go through all of the same challenges and exciting moments that you guys do. You don't know if it causes problems, Jesse Grace, because you didn't think of that, and it's 5 underscores on each side. Okay, well, I gotta tell you something. If it takes off, watch out for your competitor because it's gonna be like 6 underscores. It's gonna be like a really big line. You're gonna be a headliner. I've got a question from Val. I'm gonna go into the chat. If this messes things up, it's not me doing it. It's just one of those little kinks and quirks that we know to look out for. When you have multiple devices streaming, a couple things can happen. One is you can actually hear an echo. So if anybody hears an echo, please let me know. Other thing that can happen is sometimes the camera view will shift a little bit and change. So if I have to take this second device off, it's not because I don't love you guys. It's because you're probably looking at my floor. And if you notice something odd in any of my shows, please point it out. I did such a good show, and I had the phone zip tied onto the tripod. Not the Ship Show. It was a regular show, and people were buying a lot of stuff. But like there was like this little like thing sticking out on, and it looked like I was poking my eye every time I got close to the camera. Nobody said anything. They didn't say a word, and I'm like, come on, you guys, like. Like, I know you want to buy stuff, but just tell me if there's something in my background or something that's wrong, like if something's going to hit me in the head. That has happened. That has really happened. And I see Grandma's Great Deals. It's so good to see you. And you're doing very well this year. I have seen a lot of success with you. So congratulations. Grandma is picking up followers left and right. Just amazing. So I see a lot of really good sellers coming into the show. And right, Hazy Ames, help a guy out. Exactly. So if you do notice something, please point it out to me. I do try to keep my eye on the chat. I'm not ignoring the question. I'm trying to get into the other item. And oh, Grandma, congratulations. You get a giveaway item. So I'm going to try to stop poking at you guys. And we still have 45 minutes. So we've got plenty of time to take care of any business matters that you're confused about or you need a little help with. To get your year off to a good start. But this year should be going well for you. Whatnot is continuing to explode in terms of sales and growth all over the planet. So you guys are really in the right place if you're selling online and even if you're shopping online, because you get the best deals with those platforms that have a lot of really, exciting moments and bringing on new sellers every day. Thread and books. The only thing I have heard is that new sellers don't do the same orientation that I went through. And so they get more of like a streamlined online experience. And that's better because they can do it at their own pace. And, just it seems like Whatnot is picking up speed more and more. It's like a snowball effect. I see new names coming into every show. And if you found me on YouTube, thank you so much. If you didn't find me on YouTube, I don't know what is wrong with you. Because again, the shipping video on YouTube, it was organic growth. It was people on Whatnot looking for answers and literally crawling through the web trying to find that one, because that went out last October. All of that information is still accurate, but I'll do just a slight refresh because with 3 to 4% higher, base rates, we need to pay attention to what we're pricing our items at, but you should not have to make any big change. You really shouldn't. You should be able to do, and you just, Hazy Ames, your friend just signed up. So you're a good resource because you said that they didn't have any onboarding and were confused. I don't know if your friend is you or if your friend is a real person. It doesn't matter. Tell us about that, because we want to make sure that they don't get lost out in the internet wilderness, and we want to keep them away from that. What is that place? It's like a jungle or a river. I can never think of the name. Anyway, it's like stuff just gets lost there. It just like, it goes out to the customer and then they're like, I don't want it, and it just disappears. And only a small portion ever makes it onto a salvage pallet that Whatnot sellers seem to do really well with. But I never remember their name. I cannot think of it for the life of me. Okay, so we do have a real story. I love real stories. I want to answer Val's question real quick. You had one show in September and you said in your head you thought you made the mistake of giving free shipping. And it turns out that you were charging for the shipping. Okay, so when you say you're charging, Whatnot is collecting shipping from each customer, and they know that amount before they bid. So if I put up an item, let's test this one out because I have free shipping set up just for this purpose to show you guys. Okay, so I'm going to pin this item where it says auction item. Do you see free shipping at the bottom? And normally what you'll see is price to ship is going to be based on your location and the weight of the item. Okay, so if it doesn't say free shipping, the customer is seeing exactly what they're going to pay. That is one of the platform advantages, because you don't have to calculate that and the customer doesn't have to wait to find out what their shipping quote's going to be. Whatnot is calculating that before they ever make a bid. So whatever price is shown there, that's what they're agreeing to pay. And it's based on giving them the lowest rate. You can go back and watch past episodes of the Ship Show. We've talked a lot last year about how to do your low price shipping profile, and that YouTube video sort of just nails it down in about 30 seconds. But the idea is that the customer knows ahead of time. So whatever they saw on the screen is what they agreed to pay. So you thought that they were going to see free shipping, but you won't know that because you don't know where they're at. You don't know what their screen says. And we have had somebody request like a preview version, and I think that might be useful in some situations. I'm not exactly sure how to make that work. And so, Val, you had to change the weight during the show because you were selling clothing and beauty items. Yes, those are a big difference. I did see Celis also has a bundle max number of items option is confusing, and you're confused, Val. So your show went well, though. You're still with us. So you made it through. I guess I need a little more information about why, what was the intent to do the free shipping? Just to get more orders, or to give people a better deal, or to get them to buy more stuff? We need to know why you're doing free shipping, because if you're doing free shipping, I'm going to give you one pointer. You cannot start something for less than $10. Your basic minimums are going to require that you start something at least $10. Even with the best rate to cover you for up to 5 pounds of priority mail, that with your platform fees, and we're assuming that you just got something that didn't cost you a penny, literally, it didn't cost you a thing. You can't start anything for less than $10 if you're going to do free shipping on an item. Now, Whatnot does have a different rate class, which is the stickers, but those aren't going to work with clothes or health and beauty or really anything that's three-dimensional. Yeah, you'd have to be starting at least $10 for everything you charge. And that might be a good price point for you. It depends on your category. And okay, so Val, we've got some more information coming through. You wanted to charge shipping mid-show, but you thought you had made the change of giving free shipping. So that Val, that is such a good point. Whatnot allows us to make so many different changes during our shows. One thing that you can't change is the shipping profile. So once we go live, you're stuck with whatever profile that is. Now, there are advanced selling techniques. And if you ever run into a jam, you're probably going to want to have some moderators and some more advanced sellers help you get through those, where you could even like start a new news show if it really came down to that. However, the show that we have now up and running with, dozens of people here, that's going to have the same shipping profile. So if I've said free shipping and it's set up that way, it's going to get free shipping, whatever it is. Whatever would be sold. Now, as far as the bundling the maximum number of items, that is something that's covered in that YouTube video at the end. So once I disappear off the screen, there are like some little technical pointers at the end. One is how to bundle and unbundle, and that does include how to change the items. You just have to watch the second half and kind of scroll through that if you want to. Whatnot also has their versions. I try to keep everything really condensed. As far as bundling or putting a maximum number of items per bundle, that's how you choose to set up your profile based on the items you're selling. And that's very specific to the category and, again, what you're selling. I would mention, don't be too stingy there. Just because people do get excited when they're in that sweet spot of free shipping. So if I put a maximum of 2 items, that could really throw things off, because it would be like, okay, so your first item you paid shipping for, as an example, but then you're in that 1 to 5 pound range and it's in that free shipping category. They pick up another pound. That would be quote unquote free shipping because they've already paid the best rate. Then if it was 2 items max, it would then throw them back into a situation where they're going to have to pay shipping again, and they're not going to know that the 4th item is going to be free shipping, and they're not going to know the 6th item is going to be free shipping. So play around with that number a little bit in your mind, and look at your past sales. Look at your past sales reports to see where you need to kind of cut things off. And Whatnot gives you so many good analytics. Okay, so I'm way behind on the chat. Who else? And remind me if I have not caught your question yet. Very good advice. Watch the onboarding, and you can use the live to practice. And there is a on your devices, if you have the most recent update, there is a simulator. It's a what is it called? Somebody type in the chat what it's called. It's like practice mode or something. Is that what it's called? We'll do a giveaway because that's a brain teaser. Let's do that. Here, I'll pin. What's your problem? There you go. How fun is this? I get to see some of my favorite friends, and you all are outrunning me because you're doing so well. I love it. Celis wanted to do virtual gift card giveaways, but there was no way to change it to no shipping unless you're missing something. Okay, so yes, there is a workaround on that. Okay, let's set the stage here. We are e-commerce business people. We're not scamming anybody. Whatnot has the best low price shipping out there for people wanting to sell things. We sell products. We don't sell service. We sell products. So for a virtual gift card, we need to actually have a product that is going to ship to the customer. That's kind of what seals the deal. The way that people have done this in the past is you'll do the virtual gift card however you're getting that information through messaging or whatever secure communication you're going to get to the customer. And here's the other thing about that. You're going to also have to send them something in the mail. And that could be a thank you card. So the way I would have that set up is probably send them like a little sticker, because a sticker doesn't have to be an adhesive label, but it is a category that has some very special features to it. And one is you can send it for 73 cents. So that is the way that I would, it's basically the cost of a postage stamp, and Whatnot will track that as a shipment. It won't show up in the standard shipping screen like a package would, but it's only going to cost 73 cents. And it's basically going to include their packing slip for the virtual gift card. And, if you want to include a thank you note, a couple stickers, you can go up to an ounce at 73 cents. And that's what people who are doing the virtual gift cards have found to be effective. So that is something. Go back as far as you can in the past Ship Show videos, because I talked a lot last fall about the sticker class. That was a platform enhancement that came out because D-Archivist, DEE_archivist, if somebody wants to tag D, advocated for that and got it done in a day. And it really blew up to make it possible to send out holiday cards. Somebody was selling tea sachets, sold more than 200 orders selling tea sachets. Just unbelievable. Hundreds and thousands of customers came on just because we now had that feature. So that's a way to work with your virtual gift cards, is to use that 73-cent postage stamp rate, but make sure you are mailing the customer something, which definitely is going to have that packing slip in it. But it doesn't have to be an actual physical card, because those can get lost in the mail, especially around busy times. But I've heard of so many good things from last holiday shipping season. I really don't have any horror stories. And Crystal asks, when customers buy more than one thing individually, are they paying shipping each time? That is where we've got our three categories, which are lightweight, less than 1 pound. Yes, they will be paying shipping each time until they're at 1 pound. So if you buy something that's half a pound, you're going to pay your shipping, and Whatnot will quote you on that. And then if you buy the next half pound, Whatnot will quote you. And now that you're at a pound, it's going to switch to free shipping for USPS priority mail. And then that's going to continue on until you hit 5 pounds and above 5 pounds. So 5 pound and 1 ounces is above 5 pounds. That's where it'll start to pick up again, either with ground advantage rates or priority mail rates, or you've done a workaround where you've just gone into the flat rate category. Once they've exceeded that, they're going to see incremental shipping charges under a standard shipping profile. Some people like to do flat rate so that they don't see those little amounts pop up, but that depends on your category, depends on what you're selling. Because I did mention you could start at a free shipping, but you would have to start your item selling for at least $10. At $10, you're not going to make any money, but that's at least going to cover your shipping charge plus your platform fees and all that other good stuff. And you still might owe a little bit. But at $11, $12, $13, now you're starting to make money. Anything less than $10, I really couldn't entertain the concept of free shipping the way we're set up, because we're such a low price operation. So I hope that helps. Val, you said you buy things and people change the weights during the show. Is that for advanced sellers? We're always learning, and people do sometimes change weights during the show. However, watch some of the other shows that they're selling like 10 items a minute. They're not going to be changing their shipping weights. What people have basically are presets. So they might have a shipping, an item that's set up. So like I do right now, I've got the, if you want to go and look at the auction items, one is the sticker rate. Okay, that's the whatever it is. And the heavy anchor is set for 1 to 3 ounces. Now, the reason I set it at 1 to 3 ounces is this is a free shipping show. Since I'm going to be responsible to pay shipping on anything that would sell, I will accurately be able to adjust that after the show. But if you're having the customer pay, you need to know that at the time they're bidding, right? Because they need to know what their shipping charge is. So people can change the shipping weights. The customer is going to see what their shipping charge is. But for a smooth running show, typically you're just going to have things set up in advance, pre-weighed or pre-guesstimated, and you're going to roll with that. And some of my customers have pointed out when I've had the wrong shipping weights on, and I really appreciate that, because they've seen things that they know, wait a second, that's not going to fit in an envelope, and that's what it would be for 73-cent shipping. So if I was sending this and you saw like 73 cents there, some of my customers have pointed that out to me. I really appreciate that. I make as many mistakes, if not more, than most of you guys. So we could do a whole show episode on just everything I did that I need a do-over from last week. But I learned the most from the chat, so I love these things. Okay. Yes, Celis, you do need to send an actual gift. You did everything right. So where are we? If you load an auction item, Sarah Jen, if you load an auction item with a quantity of, let's say, 100, does Whatnot automatically number those items in succession as they are sold? Look at the sold tab. Do you know how to do that? We're going to go down to my shop, and then I'm just taking you on a virtual tour with my smart glasses. Look at the items. On this show, there's only been giveaways. And do you see how they're showing up? It should be showing up 1, 2, 3. What are we at now? Let's find out. I'm going to go down to the shop. Yeah, so it said 1, 2, and 3. And I didn't put that in the title, nor did I separate those. So Whatnot does have a numbering. But you guys know that watching each other's shows is really going to give you the best real life education. You know, we as sellers and buyers, we know when to look out for certain quirks and kinks. And so, yeah, so this sort of thing, you know, you'll see that in this show or whatever. Like, ask other sellers, go look and see how their shows are running. The high volume shows, there are so many people who will pop up at the top with their payments that they need to get, approved by their bank, because banks, like, you can sell something in 2 seconds. So banks can put a hold on real fast. And so there will be like payment pending, payment pending, payment pending before you even get to the person who won the last item. That is like a high volume show. In my shows, they tend to be a little more chatty or conversational, so you could follow along with it, but I would strongly encourage you, set up a system that works well for you, and don't be overly dependent on Whatnot's numbering, because if you're off by one number, you could be sending out the wrong item to 70 people, and you just don't want that. So look at the clothing sellers who are putting the numbers on their hangers. Look at the people who are saying, okay, I'm going to put this with your other stuff, Sarah Jen. I've got your shopping bag right here. There are different techniques that we use that work really well, because Whatnot gives you a huge sandbox to play in. And how you run your show is how you run your show. And as long as you and your customers are happy, you're doing it the right way. I'm assuming you're following the rules. Okay, we've got some more hard. I think I dodge a few questions, because I think we've got some more hard questions. I have shuddered when I've said free shipping in the past, because I know it does have the ability to destroy platforms, and especially even individual sellers, businesses, if you don't know how to price it right, because there's no way that the post office is going to work for free, or UPS or FedEx. They're not going to work for free. We have to package that into the price of the items we're selling. So if you're selling artwork, collectibles, one of a kinds, people might expect that at a minimum they're going to pay $100 or $1,000. So that is an item that right there, okay, we can start to think about how much is it to ship the item, and is it really a big percentage? But other things like this water bottle that you can get at JCPenney, nobody's going to pay $1,000 to ship that. And if you would like, I'll put it up for auction, starting at $1,000. Okay, so we've got another good question. I want to do another giveaway. Okay, here we go. Giveaway. There you go. Free shipping. Does it matter when you go in to ship it? We'll say your package is 12 by 12 by 12. It is only a small envelope that it's going into. Correct. So let's clarify. You're using a poly mailer. Is that the small envelope we're talking about? You don't really have to change a thing. The only reason the 12 by 12 by 12 standard exists is that's 1 cubic foot. That is the maximum size before you could hit excess shipping charges. And at higher weights, it doesn't even really go there, but you've got to play with those exact numbers. If you go over a cubic foot, it will switch to a higher price table. So if you're going to do a 13 by 13 by 13, you're going to start to see those numbers change, and it's going to throw you out of the best rate. But if you go to an 11 by 13 by 10, you need to stay within that cubic foot. A poly mailer, I can't imagine is going to ever exceed a cubic foot. But if you have really large measurements in any dimension, then you'd put it in there just to make sure. If it's going to be less than a cubic foot, 6 by 9 by 1 is a standard size for a poly mailer. That's way under a cubic foot. You don't have to change a thing. You never have to change that. So just unless you know that it's going to be bigger than 12 by 12 by 12. Does everybody know how big that is, by the way? Because I've got packages. So if you would like to see packages, does anybody know any fun jokes? Because I'm going to read these when you come back. This is the large mailing box that we can use for priority pieces that we get for free from the post office. We always use it with the appropriate class of shipping. So this is going to go out priority mail, and it does have a priority mail label on it. The way that we can tell is up at the top, it says priority mail. This is actually 12 by 12 by 8. So this is even less than a cubic foot. There's 4 extra inches that could sit on top that would make it a cubic foot. Just kind of eyeballing it. If you're dealing with things that are, smaller than this, we're not talking about a cubic foot. So I hope that helps give you a visual. Oh, we've got a fun joke. How do you get the show to have a reduced shipping banner? Is either setting up for free shipping and or setting a fixed amount that the buyer pays? Is that a joke? And hold on, why don't elephants smoke? Because their butts are too big for the ashtray. Oh, mine is too. No wonder. Okay, so here's the fun thing with the free and reduced shipping. And I will give a shout out to Corey Mannix, KoryManx. He does a lot of seller support. Somebody I recently found out has been using the platform for a really long time. So he's seen enhancement and generation after generation of upgrades. And he's the one who taught me how to do this. Yes, if you want the free shipping banner, you do have to put free shipping in your shipping settings, but you also have to go into your show settings and make sure that it's updated as well. Because when you do your shipping settings on any shows that you create going forward, but this is a good double check, it should apply those by default. So if you changed over to free shipping and you scheduled a 4th of July show, let's just use imaginary dates, then it should apply to that show, but you really want to go into that show settings and verify that that's the profile you have set up. And I understand that this involves going back and forth between, your mobile and your desktop and different devices. So I get it, but we as sellers, that's the business side of things we have to take care of. So that's how you do that. And if you don't see the banner, that means you didn't adjust the show most likely, because I've done the shipping profile without adjusting the show to reflect that, and it hasn't shown the banner on some of the ones I tried with reduced shipping. And we have Shadow Moon. That is a neat name, and I don't remember shipping to you, but if I've forgotten, because there have been so many thousands of people I've sent packages to all over, I apologize. And Nankar, you are cracking me up. How many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Just one, but the light bulb really has to want to change. Please don't doom us. I just got an alert on my phone. It's going to all these smart devices, they're just going to oh, I'm on a break then. And it's your first time, you're new to all this. Have you seen the YouTube video? I'll show you how to find it if you need a little help there. But some of you are getting it now in the search and suggestions. The other question would be, had you searched for others and watched all the other ones that are out there? Because the ones that are going to be older were helping people at the time, but Whatnot has enhanced and improved things quite a lot. So it probably doesn't give the most accurate current information. Okay, so good. So you haven't watched all of the other videos. Okay, so let's do another giveaway, and then I'll show you. Okay, what else? Because we're only we're a little bit more than halfway through, but these shows are running real fast. Hold on, Shadow Moon. You did your first 2 shows yesterday. Okay, so right now you're probably trying to figure out what to do with all this stuff, right? And you watched a couple of hours ago. How you get comfortable explaining Whatnot shipping, I'm going to tell you where I think the confusion comes from. Whatnot shipping is so basic, but because we're able to customize it to our profiles, we only use one carrier, so there's no confusion on that. They know they're gonna get their stuff through the U.S. Postal Service. That avoids a lot of confusion. We all follow the same rate charts. There's no upcharging on shipping. There's no profit that sellers are making on shipping, and really, Whatnot is not taking profit from shipping. We're doing this as a courtesy and a convenience because we want people to bid on our stuff and buy at good prices. All right, so having said all of that, I think the confusion comes up when sellers don't explain how their shows are set up with shipping, because there's so many different ways you can do it. You could do flat rate, you could do the low price base shipping profile that I explain in that video on YouTube, or you could customize it a little bit. And so I think if we as sellers don't do a good job just making it clear how we've got our shipping set up, that's where people who are scroll shopping, because I know you guys do that too. Nobody's even tried to bid on what's your problem. Anyway, going from one show, you're going to see 877. Somebody else is going to see 511. Somebody else is going to see all different numbers, and they're wondering why is this changing? And it's because of the way that the profile is set up, and that's really what it is. And so, if we don't clarify that up front, people can kind of get scared away from shows that might have a really good price if you're doing flat rate, but they go to another show where they're doing it as ground advantage for the first few pieces, less than £1. You don't do priority mail for less than £1. And they're, seeing less numbers, and they might start bidding on those. So it just depends on how we present the information. And Shadow Moon learned something. So come back next 2 weeks. You'll always learn something new on the Ship Show, because I do. And for those of you who missed the introduction, we will have the art of shipping in the next couple weeks. So this show runs every other week, and that's going to be by Tristina. If you want to get a preview of her, bookmark her. Do you know how to tag somebody, Shadow Moon? Valpax. Oh, my name. Stay home. You can help you stay home, or you can stay home to shop. So type the @ symbol in the chat, and we're going to have a spelling test. You can all participate. And Tristina, Tristina, Attic, Attic, and hit enter. And if you type it correctly, it's going to show like a little gray box. It's not a problem. You can stay home and shop, and you can sell. And I do this. I do both. It's a problem if you're shopping too much and you're late for your own shows, because I do that. But I really try to keep it on time for you guys, because I treat you as business people, as you are e-commerce professionals, and you are setting the example, because Whatnot is successfully helping you launch your businesses. Yeah. There's an E in there. There's an E in there that doesn't belong. So let's try it again. Tristina, so TristinAsAttic. And if you mistype it, it's not going to offend anybody, because that's not another user that I'm aware of. But watch out for that, because some of you come up with some really creative names, and then somebody else thinks, oh, well, I can one up that. So I get called Stay at Home. It's Stay Home. STAYHOME to shop. All one word, common spelling. And that's how you'll find me out on the internet, on all your favorite platforms like YouTube, as well as any other shopping platform you might be curious about. You can just type in Stay Home to shop. Yeah, I see a gray box. Yeah, Nick, you got it right. Do you see the little gray box around Tristina's attic? So that recognizes it as a tag. So Tristina's coming on a couple weeks from now, and she's going to tell us how she's able to ship and sell art all over the world. The Blooming Patch won a giveaway. But yeah, she's so fun. And if you want to preview any of her past shows, I know she leaves them up. I know she has a YouTube where she does art classes on Whatnot. She is leading the way, expanding that art category. She's doing things that people on other platforms have never been able to do in the past. And I just think that's so exciting. So I'm excited. I even have her art. Do you guys want a preview of her art? And I'm going to go back to questions. Aren't the priority boxes priority and flat rate boxes? Yes, yes, yes. There are different types of boxes that you can order on the USPS website. So USPS.com, set up a profile, basic information. The post office already knows where you live. Don't do a ghost account, shadow account. Just use your information, because you want these things to show up at your front door. And anything that's free, you can just check a box and it'll show you free supplies. Then your responsibility is to make sure you use it with that service. So priority mail will say priority mail, and flat rate will say flat rate. And if it says express pause, we don't offer that service at this moment, but that is a higher price service. And if it says ground advantage, we provide our own shipping supplies, but you don't have to do something new. I'll show you actually. Fun party drinks, upside down. I'm trying not to show the customer label. Fun party drinks. So this is going to go out ground advantage, or Fun Pops drinks. And this is something I got from my grocery store, or like my local Sam's Club, or even the Dollar Tree. You know, some of these places actually like you if you take their boxes away, because it's one less thing they have to do. So just ask, because you can get unlimited free boxes, or you can order them. And you can also get personalized, customized boxes. If you want to be in the group chat where you get all the deals and discounts, you need to message me. Please put me in the ship show. It does fill up, but I've given out the referral code to Sticker Mule that does all of my customized packaging tape, and you get $10 off your first order there if you use that code. This is a lightweight package going out ground advantage, and I've got it sealed with the Stay Home to Shop sticker tape, Sticker Mule tape. They print out as little as one roll at a time, and no other commercial printer is going to take that order serious, but they treat us like royalty. So if you want to get it on that list, you need to message me, please. Does anybody know how to message me? Okay, so I see another question. If you're selling toddler clothes at $1 a piece, what should you set your shipping as? The customer is going to have to pay for that, period, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it. I would tell you, set it up the way that is explained in the YouTube video, and that is your standard profile if you never go in to make changes. You have to make changes on your phone. Once you make those changes, it's not going to retroactively change the shows you've already set up. So that's why you want to be checking your current and your show settings. Make sure that those are aligned. How do you know to use priority or flat rate under your shipping profile? Okay, so does anybody want to look at that? Why don't we go there together? Let's look at YouTube, because YouTube will be up long after I am no longer here, long after I have sunk. into the sea. But I don't know why I'm making so many of these morbid analogies. Okay, so let's go to YouTube first. So we're going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to show you. Here's your lifeline. Here's your lifeboat. What you do is I would just type "stay home to shop," all one word, common spelling. Okay, this is the video I'm not talking about. This one you can watch at your leisure, play it in the background while you're shipping, because it's basically me doing that. I'm just talking in the background while I'm shipping. But this is the one I'm talking about, the one with the yellow and the yellow bars on each side. So you only have to watch the first 5 minutes of that, where I talk about lightweight, best rate, and heavyweight, because Whatnot has you covered. So let's go now into our shipping settings. So this is the video right here, the Whatnot shipping price. This has not changed since I put it up in October. So if I want to go into settings, I can do it on this phone. It shouldn't throw me off. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to come back. So now I'm in my profile right here. And I'm going to go to the bottom, and it says shipping. And that's where I'm going to get my settings. And this is for domestic shipments. I'm trying not to catch any glare. So can you guys see that? You want the good stuff. Can you see that? Because I want the good stuff. Domestic shipments. The first thing is I've got clicked on that first class letter mail. That's going to allow me to use the sticker class, which are plain standard envelopes. Okay. That's important. You have to have that checked on. Then after that, domestic shipments from 1 to 5 pounds is priority mail, which is going to be my weighted packaging. It's not going to be the flat rate boxes. The flat rates are smaller than this box. But let me pull that one right back over. And if I had a flat rate nearby, I would grab it and show it to you. But it's actually a couple inches shorter. This is going to allow me to get up to this size box, or I can provide my own. You can provide your own if the standard sizes aren't working for you with priority mail. And so that's the first setting there. So I have it checked as flat rate. That'll carry up to 5 pounds at that best rate. Above that is where you make your choices as far as priority mail, flat rate boxes, or ground advantage. Now, this is what's going to depend on what you sell. Based on what you sell, if you couldn't fit 5 pounds into a flat rate box here, you're probably not going to be able to fit it in here. But some people will switch to flat rate, which then means once the customer's at best rate, it doesn't recharge them. But as a seller, you will have a little bit of sizing issues, because your flat rate box is going to be smaller than this box. It's going to be a couple inches shorter than that box. So you just have to know what you're selling. I always, as a default, will go back to ground advantage, because then it's going to start requoting the price for 6 up to 70 pounds. It's going to show them a lower number than if I go priority mail. But some people, once they're at priority mail, that's where they want to stay. It's a seller's choice, but this is where you have to be comfortable learning how to explain that in like less than a few seconds. And listen to that YouTube video over and over until you get your own wording where you can just off the cuff say it, because you're going to have people scrolling in and out of your shows. You're going to have people sampling you from all over the world. I've had sellers from Canada come into my show, and they are like shocked and offended at how little we pay compared to what Canadian postage is. But still, they shop on Whatnot. They still shop on Whatnot because everybody loves Whatnot. No matter where Whatnot's selling, they're going in with the best available rates. We in the US are just very, very lucky to have that best rate. So last call for last questions, and we'll do another giveaway, and then we're going to get you on to your next show. We're going to rate into somebody, because I do like to do happy surprises, but here is the thing. We want it to be somebody who's going to be able to handle a raid, because you all, I'm imagining, are sellers. So let's make sure that it's somebody who's, maybe it's not going to be their first or only show, like somebody who's got a few people in and actively selling. But if we have some recommendations, I will look down there. I see some really good sellers on right now, actually. Who's this guy? Stay home to shop. Oh, it's the show. But if I don't see a suggestion, I've got somebody in mind. I know somebody who can take care of us. Also, make sure you're following Draz, D-R-A-Z, because if you go into the shop under the Buy It Now, I use Draz's shipping tips. She is one of the Whatnot Advisory Council, and so she has a direct link to the people who actually make these decisions, and she's been able to get us a lot of good adjustments and recommendations and things, things that need a little adjusting and tweaking and twerking. As I said before, I don't work for Whatnot. So who was the last person in? Say me if you were the last person in. So I hope that clarifies the difference between the weighted priority mail and the flat rate priority mail. Weighted, you use boxes that say anything but flat rate. And if it says flat rate, your label will also say flat rate up at the top. I don't have one right now to show you as an example, but match the label to the box. The box should match the label, okay? It should match the label. I know it did go really super fast, but in 2 weeks, we're going to go all over the world. We're going to talk about shipping out art, and we're going to have a lot of fun with Tristina's Attic. You know how to find the YouTube video. You know you can message me. You know you need to get on the group list if you really, really want to get the inside edge. And this has been so much fun. And let's do one final giveaway and then we'll raid in. We're right at the cusp of 2 p.m. Eastern. Let me just do it the old-fashioned way. How about that? Giveaway. Who's gonna get the last giveaway? It's so good to see some new faces. So bring your friends next time. Have a little lunch party. I'll give my standard outro, but don't go anywhere because we're gonna raid. Until the next time I see you, I hope you can stay home to shop. Make sure everybody gets into the giveaway. We're gonna rush the clock here and pick a winner right now. Last call for giveaway. And thank you, Celis. And yes, fantastic. Follow each other for sure. And Celis, you will be getting a giveaway item. So we are going to raid into Gam Gam. Gam Gam is a fun seller who I know you're going to love. Does her shows a little different. Been on the platform for a number of years and definitely knows how to ship.